just 7 years old.
Good.
And get to be a scene stealer in one of the most successful movies ever made.
I don't like it.
That would be fun, right?
E.T. phone home.
It's Saturday Night Live!
But a smooth ride was never in the cards for Drew Barrymore.
Can I get you a glass of milk, honey?
Milk? I'm a Barrymore. Get me a drink and make it a double.
Drew is, after all, a Barrymore. A fifth-generation actor, she fits the profile. Her grandfather, the great actor John Barrymore, lived inside a bottle for most of his career and ultimately drank himself to death. Drew's father, John Jr., was a marginally successful actor who once slammed Drew into a wall and ended up drunk and penniless.
This is a baby?
If you believe in genetic fate, baby Barrymore was marked the day she starred in her first TV commercial.
They both have special nutritional needs.
Where do you go after being one of the most successful child stars in history? Downhill, in a seemingly endless underage party of alcohol and drugs, culminating in a suicide attempt. By age 15, Drew Barrymore had lived 3 lifetimes and had enough material for a shocking autobiography that detailed her descent and redemption. By 17, Drew was clean and sober, but had burned so many bridges that she was considered unemployable. Since Hollywood wasn't buying the America's Sweetheart routine, she'd give them the exact opposite. She took off her clothes for Playboy.
Hello, Mr. Cooper.
And in a popular low-budget movie, she played the forbidden fruit.
Care for anything?
It worked. She was sexy in a Lolita sort of way, and the Barrymore acting genes were beginning to show.
Hello?
This past winter, she helped make Scream a hit by simply reacting to a voice on the phone. The result was chilling.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
And she even caught the attention of Woody Allen,
How was it?
who cast her in his musical comedy, Everyone Says I Love You.
Very interesting. I've never been kissed by a sociopath before. You're the wedding singer.
Upcoming for Drew are 2 romantic comedies. In The Wedding Singer, Drew plays a waitress opposite Adam Sandler.
That'll be $6.40, please.
And in Home Fries, she stars with her real-life boyfriend, actor Luke Wilson.
You all come back now.
She is starting to get big breaks in major movies, but not without a price. She is recently estranged from her mother, Jade, who is said to be using her daughter to further her own career.
This is the Animal Kingdom.
I had heard so much for so long about Drew that I had to remind myself when we sat down that she is only 22. Drew, tell me the story of your life in 2 minutes.
I was born at 11:05 a.m. in Brotman Memorial Hospital. I'm a Pisces with a Gemini rising.
Whatever.
I love astrology. It's indicative of something, I'm positive. I remember my childhood very, very distinctly, as if it was like a Super 8 movie that gets played back in my own head. It's like a dream.
Bad dream?
No, good dream. Interesting dream. Indifferent dream at times, but never bad. I never once thought of my life as a bad thing for one moment. There were times where I might not have understood why things were going the way they were going or why certain lessons had to be so harsh, but I never questioned why I had to go through these things. I always knew it was for a higher purpose.
You were an E.T. practically as a baby. Now, did you want to act and that's how it happened, or were you plunged into E.T. and lo and behold, you're an actress?
Well, when I was 11 months old, my mom took me into an audition for a Gainsburger puppy chow commercial, and the dog bit me on the nose, and everybody sort of went, lawsuit, and I just looked around this room of adults, like, with these panicked look on their faces, and it made me laugh, and I started laughing. They're like, hired! So that was my first job, and I think my mom thought that this was a good thing for me.
Drew, your very famous grandfather, John Barrymore. How much do you know about him, and how much do you relate to him, if at all?
Well, I relate to him an extraordinary amount because I feel like I'm connected to him in a personalities type of way.
You're similar?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm breaking certain patterns that he wasn't able to break.
Destructive. Drinking.
Yeah.
Particularly. Yeah,
Yes.
that was very much a part of his life. How do you feel yourself related to John Barrymore?
I feel like we would have been best friends.
Do you, this is going to sound strange, but do you think he's a part of your life? Do you
Very
feel
much so. I'm very glad you asked that question, actually, because I don't want people to think that I'm, you know, out in the ether by saying I feel like he's watching over me. But I feel like he's watching over me so much that that's a huge part of him, is to sort of make sure and guide me that I'm doing okay.
Drew, tell me about your father. Was he there at all for you when you were growing up?
No, but one thing that I very much respect about him was that he was honest that he couldn't be a father. And I understood that.
Do you see your father now?
Occasionally, yeah.
Occasionally.
Him and I are very alike. We spend a lot of time alone. And I think we feel awkward with plans. So we very much have a universal understanding with each other.
Tell me about your mother. You're now estranged from your mother.
Yeah, my mother and I don't speak, I think, because it's the appropriate thing for both of us to do right now. I've always said that both of us have a lot of growing up to do.
The bottom line, though, Drew, is that in your life now as a young woman, you have neither a father nor a mother.
No.
In that sense, you're an orphan. Hard.
It hurts sometimes. I remember when I was younger, I used to wonder at Christmas time, did bad kids have no parents and good kids had parents? And the day that I questioned that, which was the very first time I got my answer that day, which was no. I've never been so able to have freedom, actually, since that point, because I realized there's so many of us who are orphans, whether we have single parents or no parents, and as long as we have people around us that can nurture us and take care of us, that's all you need.
Drew, the drugs and the alcohol at a very young age. How old?
I started experimenting around 9, which for, you know, most kids seems so scary.
With what?
Pot. You know, I never did anything in excess, really. I tried things, and I think it's very scary when children try things because it's heartbreaking.
Pot? Drinking?
Yes.
Have you stopped?
Yes.
Both?
Yes. I mean, I'll be very honest with you that I will have a glass of wine with my dinner.
But not excess?
No.
You went into rehab. Those were difficult times?
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're young to go through something so scary, but it's strange because I think a part of me could have become so bitter from that, but I'm so grateful because in turn the best thing of my life came from that, which was the deepest appreciation for freedom, the outside, how good life can be. It's not that you see things that other people don't, you just have this weird knowledge that I don't wish upon anybody, but if you have to get it, it's very worthwhile.
You know, I look at you, and you're so young, and you're so fresh, and you're so beautiful. And then I know that when you were, like, about 14 or so, you tried to kill yourself. I mean, it breaks my heart.
If you can believe that a person can grow and therefore change, which is what makes me understand why I had to do and go through some of the things I had to go through. I'm such an extraordinarily different person now. The value I have for life means more to me than anything.
You've also said that you're bisexual. You're as happy with women as you are with men?
I love women. I love men. I'm fascinated.
You can do one or the other?
Not anymore.
Sex has no gender?
I remember when I was little, I was a tomboy for sure. I had many male friends growing up, and now I have a lot more women friends. But I think as a child, I was very into androgyny and understanding both sexes and trying to be open to them.
And then there was that period where you were stripping at bars with David Letterman. One bar, one David Letterman. What's that all about?
Freedom.
Still doing it?
No. But that was a period of my life that I very much look fondly at because I wasn't like that before, and I wasn't like that after, so I was happy for one moment. I felt so comfortable in my skin that I could do those things.
This was only a year or so ago.
Was it? It was like 2 years ago, yeah.
Okay, so here we are. No more drinking, no more drugs, not bisexual?
No.
With one man? Mm-hmm. No more stripping?
No.
You're not suddenly going to pull your sweater up?
No.
Okay. Is this therapy that you went into? Is this a religion? What? I'm looking at a 22-year-old who is very different from the 20-year-old. Mm-hmm. What?
It's time to grow up.
But who helped you grow up?
Me.
What? Just self-knowledge?
Yeah. I know that I would never, ever, ever be able to be happy with playing with my dogs and staying home on a Friday night if I hadn't gotten all this out of my system.
The career is going well.
The career is going well. I just got Cinderella for Fox.
You're going to be Cinderella?
Yeah. Talk about a dream come true. It's so appropriate to get a part where you're in a fairy tale about making happen what you want to happen.
Are you ever afraid now that you're going to mess it all up?
No way. There's no way I could. I appreciate what I have too much, and I know what it's like to be on the other side, and therefore you work from that.
What will you do one day when you have your own children?
Be the happiest person alive.
Never leave them?
Never. No, I'm positive I won't go crazy in the opposite spectrum, but I've learned what I feel as a parent will be a good balance, which is what to do and what not to do.
Okay, look ahead. Where are you going to be? Ordinarily, I'd say 10 years, but where are you going to be 5 years from now? What's the dream?
Same one I've had since I was little. To be on a farm, to be with lots of animals, to be with someone I love. And one night it'll rain and I'll know that I finally got there.
One night it will rain? Mm-hmm. What's that got to do with it?
I love the rain.